Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Today we are going green. And it doesn't mean low carbon dioxide print or nuclear waste. We are going for kethane. Kethane is a mineral which we can mine on the various planets and moons and convert into various kinds of fuel, namely rocket fuel, oxidizer, xenon gas, and monopropellant. It has been added by the Kethane Pack, and first, before we can mine it, we need to find it. And that's exactly why we're launching this small probe, which will get into the orbit of Minmus, and we'll start scanning the surface, looking for nice green spots. So here we are, circularizing our orbit around Kerbin and going for the Minmus. Actually, very good position, so we don't need to change our inclination or wait for the favorable transfer window. All we're doing is burning prograde until our apoapsis is around the Minmus orbit, and then we are going for slight course correction around the orbit of the moon. The usual stuff. And we are going for the polar orbit because we need to cover as much of the Minmus surface as possible. Of course, our course correction we are doing on low thrust because we only need 2 meters per second of delta V or something very close to that. And here we are approaching Minmus. Once we circularized, we will launch our scanner and it will happily do its work, scanning for the nice green kethane. So here we are. Let's turn on the kethane grid, which shows us where the kethane is, and let's ditch this engine. We won't need it anymore. So, here is the scanning interface. Basically, when the craft passes over the surface, it scans the tile below it, and if there is a kethane, it will show up in green, and if there is no kethane, it will be kinda white. The more kethane there is, the brighter the color will be. As the process happens almost in real time, we have to cut the video and get back a bit late. Approximately 30-45 minutes later, we found most of the deposits of kethane. We don't have the borders, but that is not really required. We see how much kethane there is, and that means that we can launch the second stage, the mining. Mining will be done absolutely automatically, the same way as surveying, and it looks like the first time we've managed to make our rocket look like a rocket without any unnecessary big parts. So here we are ascending into our parking orbit. Nothing extraordinary will happen during this. We are almost at 45 meters, 1000 meters per apsis. So let's ditch our fairings and ascent stage and turn to our circularization / interplanetary stage. As usual, it looks like my craft is a little bit over-engineered, and it got more delta V than it will ever require. But that is good. That means that we can do little mistakes along the way, and we're not going to suffer. So we are circularizing, and we're going for Minmus. Thankfully, we are again in very favorable position, so we don't need to wait at all. we just wait for maybe 2 minutes and then we burn directly for Minmus. The same way as before, we will do a little course correction along the way to get our periapsis as low as we need. But this time we're not going for the polar orbit, we're going for equatorial orbit because we need to land. And as luck would have it, we would go into retrograde orbit, which isn't the best kind of orbit, but considering our over-engineered craft, we have more than enough delta V to land safely and have no further issues. Here we are, in the sphere of influence of Minmus. Let's circularize. First we're going to ditch our interplanetary stage. Even though we still had 500 meters delta V there, we don't need it. And now let's find the nice spot with a lot of kethane. This one looks perfect. It is close to equator and there is a lot of kethane. So what we're going to do, we're going to change our inclination and lower our periapsis so that we're going for the landing approximately in this region. I'm going to change our inclination a little bit more and gradually slow down so that our touchdown happens close by. Here we go, 1000 meters, and our velocity is very low, so we have no issues with landing. And now we can start mining. First thing we're going to do is deploy the mining drills. First we're going with only one, or maybe two, to determine if there is kethane below us, because we haven't actually landed on the spot which was scanned, but I'm pretty sure there is a kethane. And yes, it starts flowing in our tanks. You can see it in upper right corner of the screen. So we're going to deploy additional drills and start filling our 4 tanks with this nice green stuff. And we can convert this green stuff into the rocket fuel, oxidizer, xenon gas and monopropellant. As we can see, it takes a lot of electricity, so we're going to turn it off for now. And we're going to first mine the whole tank. Thankfully we can do it with the time warp. Here we go, the full tank. Now we're going to retract our mining drills, just like that. And then we're going to convert it to fill up our fuel tank. Right click on the converter unit, convert to liquid fuel. Again, we can use the time warp and we don't have to wait in real time for this to happen. Almost there. And we have a full tank of liquid fuel. Let's turn on the conversion of the oxidizer. And we are done. The conversion rate is not perfect, but it is enough for our needs. And it is that time where I have to say thank you all for watching. Remember to like, dislike and comment this video in the section below. In the next episode, we are going to create a refueling vessel which will take this sweet fuel and deliver it to the orbit of Min, where it can be used by various crafts to go to other destinations. Once again, thank you all for watching. My name is Darlok, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.